Hi folks, and welcome back to the channel. Lee here. I'm actually just sitting outside my work. I'm due in half an hour, so hence why I actually look like kind of presentable. But yeah, I thought I'd just make a little video because I know I've been a bit inactive recently. And I'm trying my best to just kind of like, if I'm going to be making videos, I'll kind of just try and find time that I'm free, and today this is it. This is pretty much the only time I'm going to be free. Um, I thought I'd talk about a topic, and it's maybe getting into kind of serious territory, like maybe like kind of life advice territory, but like I don't want to get too kind of like depressing or kind of you know like too serious about the whole thing, but I wanted to kind of talk about something that had happened to me recently, and then kind of just, you know, use that as a kind of example of, some sort of life advice thing. I don't know whether I should say used to be or am a part of, because it's still kind of in the process of, you know, it's still there technically, but I used to be a part of an organisation called the Maritime Volunteer Service. Now, what it is, it's like a nationwide charity thing. And I should start by saying nothing that I'm saying here is endorsed or, you know, implied, or that the views are completely my own. It's nothing to do with the MVS itself. For what I'm going to talk about in this video, just to, just as a disclaimer. But like, so basically what the MVS does, it's like a nationwide charity, so it's UK wide, and it has its origins in like the Royal Naval Auxiliary Service or something. And basically what they do is they do like seamanship, maritime training. They are basically there to for people who are interested in boats or interested in maybe just learning something new. They can come along to the unit. They can get some training and this sort of thing. Some of the units do official training like RYA powerboat level 2. Maybe some of them have got sailing boats, so they do some of the sailing qualifications as well. But our unit didn't actually do that. We were quite a small unit. There's various, there's quite a few there's quite a lot of units, and they're all various shapes and sizes, you know what I mean? But we were a fairly small unit, and we were the North Ayrshire unit. So we operated out of Ardrossan Marina. We had a small boat that we operated out of Ardrossan Marina. The boat was called a Colvick Northerner. So it's an old boat. It's quite a nice boat. Do you know what I mean? Like a nice kind of classic motor cruiser, but it had an old kind of diesel engine that was kind of like a modified version of the sort of engine you would find in like a London taxi. Um, and so we were this small unit, and there was only about six of us, towards the end, but, you know, we were all, good friends, and that we still are. But it was one of those things where, obviously, what's happened this year, like, being a charity, we relied on, getting funding from outside. So we got our marina fees half price at the agreement of the marina, so that was great. But even with that, the costs of keeping the actual boat at the marina were still pretty high. Um, and you have to take the boat out the water every year or two and clean it. There's just a lot of, costs. And the old joke about boats is, it's an acronym, right? Boat, BOAT, bring out another 1,000. So, that they can be quite expensive, annoying things to own. But obviously we owned it as part of this organisation. It's quite an unusual structure for a charity because, they didn't really give us outside funding as such. And I think North Ayrshire Council used to give us funding, but I think they stopped that even before I joined. So there was that. But obviously, like, so our only sources of funding were either can collections or basically, getting awards, charity awards, charity grants from certain organisations. And the can collections aren't going just now because obviously we're still kind of in a kind of semi-lockdown period, and the grants are all going towards more healthcare, homeless-based charities, which is amazing. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's where you want that money going, but unfortunately, it means that for us, it just meant that we weren't going to get by, and it was only going to be a matter of time before we were holding onto that boat that was just going to become a liability. So we had to get rid of that. But to explain a little bit about what I done at the MVS, I joined nearly 5 years ago. I joined this unit nearly 5 years ago, and I went into it, obviously, like, my interest in boats. I was on the Waverley yesterday. You've probably seen some of that video. Um, and I'd gotten an interest in boats over time, but I'm one of those people, like, I always love to be like actively involved with stuff. So, you know, it's fun enough being a passenger in a boat, but when I found out about this organisation where they were like, you can actually come out, volunteer with this organisation, we'll train you how to be a crew member in a small boat. And I thought, amazing, right? So I'm going to go along to that. And it's been a fantastic 4.5 years. Like, the last couple of years has been hard because obviously, I started working, so I didn't have as much time to actually go along and devote to it. But I learned all about rope work, navigation, man overboard exercises, manoeuvring the boat in close quarters, just everything that you would need to know to crew a small boat. So, if I ever say, sometime in the future, like, I decided, like, I wanted to buy a boat or buy a share in a boat, or if my friends bought a boat or something like that, then, I would have a decent understanding of the kind of basic things of what to do in that. We also done a lot of our own maintenance. A couple of the guys at the unit, they were, ex, offshore employees, like engineers, so they knew this stuff inside out anyway, and they done a lot of the maintenance. But they taught me a great lot about engines and stuff like that, and just maintaining the boat in general. And I actually found that really interesting as well. So overall, fantastic time. But I suppose it just kind of gets to the main point of, like, yeah, like it. And when we had the conversation at the end, because we had a Skype chat basically to kind of like formalize the fact that we were going to have to disband as a unit. And they were saying, oh, like, we'd all need to put our own cash in, and it's one of those things, like, I might have been almost like happy with putting my own cash in, but, like, I would have needed to know reasonably that there was a good chance that the unit was going to go somewhere. And I think with the boat that we